If you're in the VA claims process, you're thinking about filing a claim, or you're actually filed the claim and you're in the process, one of the places that the VA rater is going to look is your VA medical records. So what can you do if a VA doctor accidentally, humans make mistakes, misrepresents the facts of your case and your disability, and lowballs you? What steps can you take? One thing you can do is use My Healthy Vet, secure messaging. So if you notice that there's a problem and it's clear and blatant, and this is something that you are on top of, right? When I talk about patrolling your medical records, which is something you should be doing, you should be familiar with My Healthy Vet. Every time you go to the VA, go look at what was actually said, because if you need to challenge it, that's the time to clean it up. And that's where something like this will actually be helpful. And it's something that you could do. If you get your VA claims file and you notice inaccuracies from 15 years ago, the doctor's probably not with us. He's not with the VA. He might not even be on the planet. It doesn't really work when it's 15 years old. So if you're patrolling and you're on it and this just happened and you noticed it, this is like something, you could correct within 30 days, maybe 60, but the sooner the better. This stuff is VA claims strategy. This is what I teach in my bootcamp. Check it out at combatcraig.com. Links in the description. The information contained in your VA records is going to be crucial. This is the first place the VA rater is going to look. When they order up your C&P exam, they may reference some of these notes. So if they're inaccurate, or somebody else's or something like that, this isn't going to be helpful for your claim. Let me give you an example. Let's say you've been going to the VA and you have foot pain, and you've been complaining about it for the last year. And when they ask you about your foot pain every time, if you've had 3 visits or whatever, so you say my foot pain is the same as it was when the injury first occurred. No changes. That's what you say. You've been consistent about it. Maybe you got out a couple of years ago and you've been doing constant complaints. And yep, it's still the same. Pain levels an 8. I can't do this anymore, and you have your consistent story. But the VA doctor takes what you just said and says, veteran's foot condition is stable. This is not accurate because you have foot problems. It's progressively possibly getting worse. It's definitely still at an 8. You're not saying it's a 4 or 5 and it's getting better, but the doctor will say stable. So that's not going to help you. So how would you correct that? The VA doctor's statement does not reflect exactly what the veteran complained about, and therefore it'll be unknown to the VA that the veteran's foot condition makes daily living complicated to the point they can't use their feet, or else they'll be in pain. So foot condition stable, to me, stable means hunky-dory. The VA doesn't know this. This kind of throwing it off. Pain of 8. You go back 3 months later, 8. Can't walk, having problems going to work, can't play basketball anymore, social and occupational impairment, and then the stable comes in there, right? That it's going to throw that all off. And that's what the VA rater is going to go find out. And that's what the VA rater is going to go see. You don't want to be taken out of context with something little like this. These are little details. You want to make sure that you don't, you address this, because it'll be taken out of context and used as negative medical evidence instead of positive medical evidence. This is what you do. Go into My Healthy Vet, review your records, right? You should be patrolling your records. There's a problem. So review the notes from the appointment. This will be accessible through the blue button report after about 3 to 5 days after the appointment. You can download it and read it. It'll be downloaded as a PDF. And then you'll want to send a new message to your primary care provider. Usually it's, like your doctor or your nurse, whoever it is, you're going to send a new message to them. And this is what you're going to say. I would state the exact same thing that you've been saying because it's your story. My foot pain has been hurting ever since the injury occurred. It's an 8 and it hasn't changed. I noticed that the notes say stable and it's not stable. It hurts. It's the same. There's nothing stable about it. Don't be argumentative, but you're attacking the word stable. And you want to get this on the record where you're pointing it out. And what this is doing is this is going to add another entry in that the VA rater is going to also be able to see that you attempted to correct the record. And then more people people will be able to see it. You know, your nurse might see it. Your nurse might forward it to your doctor. Hey, do you think you could change the word stable? More people will get eyes on this, potentially getting a change done. But you just going on the record and defending it and attacking the word stable will make a big difference. And it's something you can point to if you need to appeal. Here's what I would write. Here's an example. Good morning. I've seen Dr. Kevorkian recently about my foot pain from an injury I incurred while in service. I'd like to know if I could get any advice on how to manage the foot pain so I could stop limping. My foot pain is the same as when the injury first occurred. It hurts even more while walking, making it hard for me to walk without a limp. So you're restating, you know, what your other record said. And, you know, it wouldn't hurt to put is the same in caps, in bold, if they allow that on My Healthy Vet, or quote it, you know, is the same. Now what's going to happen is your message is going to be recorded in your VA medical records, and you'll get a response for the nurse or the physician based on the issue you've made and you know, what they decide to do about it. You know, more eyes are on it, like I said, and then instead of just having one doctor's words, you're going to have more VA medical professionals looking at this. So they may correct it. You may get him to rewrite it. They're supposed to do this by law, keep accurate records. But, you know, this is the VA. They're not really too fond of laws. But just you pointing out this word stable, I'm not stable, it's the same. That's going to be something the VA rater can see. Hopefully that guy can make a good informed determination and not be confused. And then if that doesn't work and it doesn't go your way, you can appeal. And this is what you're going to cite. You just didn't look at my records. I corrected it and you ignored it. This is all strategy stuff. Figuring out the combined ratings table, how you're going to get from whatever point you are now to the point you're trying to get. Let me jump in here real quick and tell you about my boot camp. If you want to learn more about the VA claims process, check out my boot camp. You can talk to me live. There's a link on the website and in the description, combatcraig.com. And also, if you need medical evidence like a nexus or documenting your symptoms properly, go to our website, combatcraig.com, and it says medteam/nexus letters. Click on that link, fill out the form, boom, you're done.